Hey guys and girls, my name is Alan and today I have some more Black Ops 3 multiplayer footage for you to enjoy. First off, I should apologise, it's been a very long time since I last posted a gameplay commentary on Black Ops 3. The reason is, well, my work is retail. That's what I do, that's my day job at the moment, and obviously Christmas is a very busy time for us, so it's kind of hard to, well, I'm sort of making up excuses a little bit because I do have time to play every now and then, and I probably do have time to record a gameplay commentary and whatnot, but I'm tired and I'm feeling a bit lazy and it's Christmas and you know how it is, you just kind of just want to relax and just enjoy things after work instead of doing more work, which is, this is kind of a hobby for me, so it's not, I wouldn't consider it a job or anything, but it does require a fair bit of time. I'm not a professional by any means, so recording, editing, uploading and sorting out all the various things that are required, that does take time, it does take effort, and so it's a few extra hours of work after a long day's work that I've already done already, so that's my excuse. So I do apologise, but I hope you all had a good Christmas. Santa brought you what you wanted, what you asked for, assuming that is you were good little boys and girls. So yeah, so we're playing on Aquarium, which has a special place in my heart, as you all know if you've watched my previous gameplay commentaries. It's another TDM, and for some reason this game has loaded up with only 6 players in total, so it's basically a 3v3. I'm sort of playing late at night, so I don't know if that has an impact on the number of players available, but there should still be enough to fill a lobby, so I'm guessing, I don't know, I can only assume that there weren't enough players at the time, or there was just some weird thing going on with the matchmaking. I should mention that this is a game that I recorded pretty much when the game first came out. As you can see by my rank, I have since ranked up quite a few times, so this is a very early game, but I think I do alright. It's like I said, it's a 3v3, so it's not as action packed as it could be, but my score at the end is pretty decent. I'm quite happy with that, and given my rank, obviously that just makes the game even better for me, but we'll obviously be able to see how I do in due course. So in my first video I didn't really talk about much of anything because I think the gameplay was quite short, and I talked about the gameplay more than I talked about the actual Black Ops 3 multiplayer in general. So I think this video I'm just going to give my first impressions. It's kind of funny because obviously the game's been out for at least a couple of months now, and I've played a lot more than what I had in this particular gameplay that you're watching. So I need to try and think back and just talk about the things that I was planning to talk about, but I hadn't yet talked about, if you get what I mean. So first off, let's talk about the obvious thing, the momentum system, the movement system, the boosting and the thrusting and the jumping and all that. Oh, also something else to mention is that everyone can run indefinitely now. There's no lightweight perk, there's no marathon perk, nothing like that. Everyone can run. You can't run any quicker unless you're using one of the specialist abilities, and we'll talk about that later on. But yeah, so everyone can run, and you'd think it wouldn't make much of a difference to gameplay, but it kind of does, because everyone's able to get around the map so quickly. And one thing that kind of annoys me is when you're chasing an enemy, in previous games you could chase them and then they would run out of sprint and they'd have to slow down to a walking pace, and if you timed it correctly you could sort of catch up depending on when you started to sprint or when you came across them in the first place. In this game, because everyone can run indefinitely, you can effectively chase players all the way across the map without either of you stopping, and it's just it's like, it's so annoying. Because, you see an enemy, you think, oh, okay, I'm going to sneak up on them, get an easy kill. But because they're constantly running, and then you're constantly running, before you know it, you've done a lap around the map, and it ends up either you getting killed by another player because you've just been chasing this dude and been completely oblivious to everyone else, or, someone else ends up nicking the kill. Well, not nicking the kill, but like, the enemy player you were chasing just runs into one of your teammates and then they get a kill instead of you, so you've just wasted however many minutes chasing this dude around the map. And I know what you're saying, yeah, you could just shoot from a distance, or you know, use your tacticals or lethals or whatever, but there's a lot of corners on certain maps, and so if you haven't got a good line of sight, you should never start firing, because otherwise you give away your position, and then obviously, you know, there's a chance you might get turned on, or you might just scare the enemy into hiding somewhere better, and you don't really want to chase after that, because then it could be an ambush situation. So yeah, that's sort of annoying for me. In terms of the boosting and the jumping, I think a lot of people were worried because of obviously what we experienced in Advanced Warfare. The boosting and the jumping and all that crap was crazy in that game. Whereas in this game, it's a lot more. I don't know how to describe it. It's a lot more. It's a lot more methodical. So you do boost, but instead of going like 20 feet into the sky and then you're able to jump 10 feet backwards or forwards or whatever, you actually only boost a couple of feet into the air, and then if you boost again, you can go a few more feet, and if you boost again, you can go a few more feet after that. And I think you can only do it about 3 times in a row. There's not enough boost to do it too many times. And so, I mean, even if you were to jump in the air, it would take you a couple of seconds to reach maximum height. And then if you were to you know, boost and then to the left and to the right or forward or backwards, you'd only move a couple of meters, say. You wouldn't move, I don't know, the 10 meters that you would in Advanced Warfare. So combat is a bit more, it's a bit more manageable. It's not as frenetic and as crazy as it was in Advanced Warfare, but it's still, I don't know, I kind of want to experience this game without the boost movements. I think personally for me that might make a better game. There are times where I do enjoy using the movement, especially climbing into buildings, you know, when there's a camper or whatever, but on the flip side, that just makes it easy for them to breach locations that your team is trying to hold down, so it works both ways. But I'd like to, I don't know, I'd love to have seen a version of this game without the boost system, and just to see how that was, and also the infinite running as well, because like I said before, that kind of ruins certain situations that I encounter within the game for me. What else? Yes, so as you've seen in my first video, I did play as the Outrider class, and I'm still using the compound bow, the Sparrow, in this gameplay, and I haven't really ventured too far outside of a couple of specialists, even though like I said, I've played quite a lot since. I've only really stuck to a few, and I'm just, I don't know, I mean, they're not massively difficult to learn, but in some ways it's like the momentum system. So they're easy to pick up and to start using, but it's using them well therein lies the challenge. So obviously I'm still a bit of a rookie in this game, as you can see by my rank. I think I'm level 11 or something like that. Not much higher than that. And so I'm working my way through the specialists, and I will do probably videos of each of them as I play as them, or at least as I get decent gameplays of those specialist classes. But you know, like I said, each one is different, and they've each got 2 abilities, so you do have to effectively learn the same character twice, because obviously each ability is completely different. And again, I don't know how I feel about these specialists. On the one hand, it's fun to use them sometimes, and their abilities are a bit like kill streaks, except you can earn them for doing not a lot. I mean, you get them a lot quicker than you would get certain kill streaks, and some of them are crazy good. And so on the flip side of that is you can get a player who hasn't been doing very well at all, but then, you know, they get one of these specialist class abilities, can call it in, and they can get, you know, a couple of easy kills. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I know it's meant to be a fun game for everyone, but I don't really see how a player who hasn't been doing as well as another player can get access to something that's just as lethal. You know, it's sort of an unfair boost, if you will. But maybe that's just me, I don't know, maybe I'm just being a bit selfish, but that's just how I feel personally. So we're coming towards the end of this gameplay now. As you can see, the game is still a 3v3. We've had a couple of players drop out, but they've only been replaced once, so it's still a 3v3 throughout. I'll probably have to leave the other subjects I was going to talk about to another video, because like I said, this one's coming to an end. I think I've done alright. Managed to pick up quite a few double kills and stuff, and the scoreline, well, you'll see the scoreline at the end, but I think I do pretty well considering the rank I am. But obviously the number of players is not massive, so you know, it's a little bit easier to manage. Especially, I'm not trying to be big-headed or anything, but I think I'm a little bit better than the average player in this game, so I think I'm alright. And as you can see, I pick up a few kills with the Sparrow because I'm getting better at using it. I mean, I missed a few shots earlier, but towards the end of the game, I sort of find my rhythm a bit with the weapon, and I think I've managed to master it a little bit better now as well. Yeah, in the future. So there you have it, 37 and 9 on the map Aquarium. So it still holds a special place in my heart. My sentry did work. I put it on the balcony and it just cleaned up. So that's a good place to put a sentry if you do use it on this map. And I think the sentry is actually a really good streak. But we'll talk more about kill streaks in the next video. So anyway, as per usual, I do record my medals and stuff at the end. So if you want to watch those, check them out. Then obviously just stay tuned to the end of the video. But if not, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Until next video, possibly in the new year now. I don't know how busy I'm going to be in the next couple of days, but if I don't see you until then, have a good New Year's, and I will catch you in 2016. Right, so thanks for watching. If you like the video, consider tapping that like button, and as always, catch you later.